Hello, hello, and your eyes are not deceiving you. You are looking at a row of crochet hooks. So the other night I was at Michael's and, surprise, surprise, and I came across these Clover Amour hooks, and I've heard so many great things about these particular hooks. So I thought, okay, let's do a review on these particular hooks. But then when I went through my collection, I realized that I've got quite a few different brands. So I thought I would do a quick overview of the different brands that I have, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and what I would recommend that you start with if you're a beginner. So we're going to go to the classic metal hook. Now, I think this is the very first crochet hook I ever purchased, and it's still going strong. Mind you, I don't use these as much anymore, but this is the metal hook by Boye, B-O-Y-E. Also very similar to the Susan Bates metal hooks, but the Boye hooks are a little bit more tapered, whereas the Susan Bates ones, they are pretty much, straight. So it's got, it's got that center area where you could put your thumb and your forefinger as you're crocheting. And I mean, it's a good option. It does the stitches. It's a nice smooth finish, so it does the job. The only thing I don't like about this is that it doesn't have that ergonomic handle. So when you're crocheting for a longer period of time, like I like to sit on the couch and watch TV for the night while I'm crocheting, and after a while this starts to get a bit uncomfortable. However, they work, and it's a great option. It's a good option if you're starting out, if you just want to grab a couple of needles and some yarn to try it out to see if you even like crocheting. These are about $3 to $5 each, so it's a good price point to try it out. Now, if you have this hook and it works great for you, or if you have the whole collection of hooks and they work great for you, then don't, then keep using them. With all of these hooks, if this is what you have and they work, then great. I'm just doing this video if you're looking for different options or if you want to upgrade your crochet hook situation. Now, these hooks, I don't even know what brand they are. I got them off of Amazon. It's a soft-handled crochet hook, and this is your ergonomic handled hook, which I really do love, especially if you're crocheting for a longer period of time. They just fit really nicely into your hand, and I find that my hand doesn't get, cramped up like using these ones, for example. So again, I'm not familiar with the brand. It's just a soft-handled ergonomic crochet hook. They're about $7 to $8 each. So if you wanted to upgrade from a metal hook to an ergonomic handle and you want to stay within a price point, then this is a good option. The only drawback with these ones is that after a while, the rubber handle starts to slide off, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if I would just take it all off and glue it. I don't know if it's worth doing that for a cheaper hook, but this does become a pain in the butt when you're crocheting and you have to constantly, push the handle back onto your needle. So this is not a set that I would recommend for longer term use. However, it's a good price point and a good hook to upgrade to if you wanted to try the ergonomic handle. So that's from Michael's. This is the Prim crochet hook, and this is a bit more of a higher end option. Price point for these ones, depending on your size, is $7.99 to $11.99. I got these at Michael's, but you can get them anywhere really. It's got a really nice smooth finish. It's got the ergonomic handle, which I really do like. The only thing I find with this is that it's got a really long neck to this one. Like when you compare it to the Clover Amour, you can see the difference for sure. And it's quite thick as well. And when you're working with a project, say this one, for example, this is a super bulky yarn, and I'm also using 2 strands. So there's a lot of bulk in there already. And when you add to the bulk, it can be a bit frustrating to work with in the larger handle. But it's got a nice smooth glide to it. So when you are working on your project, it's just fine. Now, I wouldn't recommend these if you have smaller hands. The needle is substantially larger, or sorry, the hook, not the needle. I mean, it's that much longer, right? So if you have smaller hands, then the ergonomic benefits aren't going to come through for you because your hand is going to be off in that sense, right? As opposed to a normal sized hook. And the smaller hooks are pretty thin and pointy. I don't have any of the smaller hooks, but I have heard that if you've got, like, say, a size 4 or a size 5 needle in the prim, the neck is a lot thinner, but they are a little bit more delicate. So people have said that it feels like it would snap in half quite easily. And if you're working with a thicker yarn, it might not be the best option. But again, it's a good hook. I would use this. I haven't used this because I haven't found a project for a size 9 hook. I have it if I need it. The other small thing, and this is such a small thing, but with the sizing on these hooks, the sizes are letter based. So it says prim M. Now with all of the other hooks, you can see the number 10 millimeter here. Here you can see 8 millimeter. That's in the hook. This says 4.5 millimeter. And then you've got this one that just says M, right? So all of the hooks, I mean, even the metal one, it says 6 millimeter. So when you're digging through a huge pile of hooks like I have here, I see the numbers, and that's what I'm used to. So for me to see the M, I would have to look that up to find out which size M correlates with and then go from there. Not a huge deal, but again, because all of our hooks are numbered, you get used to seeing that. So when you see the letter M, you're like, okay, what size is this? You'd have to take that extra step to look it up. Again, not a huge deal. If you love these, great, keep using them. But this would not be my go-to personally. The next hooks, now I really like these ones. This is the ergonomic handle by Loops and Threads, which I think you can only get at Michael's, but I really love the ergonomic features on this. There's a definitive spot for your thumb and forefinger, and it's an aluminum hook. Gosh, say that 5 times fast. Price point is $9.99 to $11.99 depending on the size of your hook, but it's got a really nice aluminum handle, stitches really well, and so far, and I've used these quite a bit, so far the handle doesn't slide off like these Amazon babies. So these are a really nice sturdy hook, and again, between that $9.99 and $11.99 price point, it's pretty good. So I would definitely recommend the Loops and Threads ergonomic handles. So now we're going to end with the newbies. So these are the Clover Amour hooks. It's an aluminum hook with the ergonomic handle, which is really nice. The larger size, so this is a size 8, very lightweight. The Loops and Threads, like this is a 10 millimeter, so obviously a bit of a size difference, but this is quite heavy. And when you're crocheting for hours on end, this can start to feel the weight, especially if you're working with a thicker yarn. Not a huge deal. You could also get a bit of a workout, if you're working with a heavier hook, but this is a really nice lightweight hook. So again, if you're doing a marathon crochet session, it's great. Now the handle, I've been using this on this project. I'm making a basket, and the neck, like the hook, the actual hook part is a bit larger than, say, the hook part on the Loop and Thread one. So you've got a little bit more room to work with, which is great when you're working with a super bulky yarn and you're doing 2 strands. But this slides in and out like butter. It's beautiful, especially on a tougher project like this. But even on a smaller project, so this is the 4.5 millimeter hook. I'm just working on a granny square here as part of my bookish hook series, but doing the stitches, like, it's smooth. Like, this is just gliding in so nice. Like, you don't have to, it doesn't catch, it doesn't, you know, and I find with, you know, the soft handled ones, even the prim ones, you know, there's a seam here, which can sometimes catch on your yarn. And that's the last thing you want to be dealing with when you're, you know, trying to work on your project, right? But it's a really nice slide. So I love these so far. I've only been using them for a few days, so, you know, I'm not an expert on these, but I've heard so many good things about these hooks. Now, they are a bit of an investment. They're about $11.99 to $13.99 for, you know, for a hook. You can also buy them in the sets, but so far I'm really, really loving these. There's also a, I think the next step for me, and I don't have them, but there's some beautiful wooden interchangeable sets. There's one, it's a brand by Oasis, and it's a set. You get 7 hooks. You get 7 hooks in the set, and it's got a smooth wooden handle, and then you just change out the hook for whatever size you need. Now they're $84 for the for the 7 hooks, and it comes in a nice case with a measuring tape and scissors and all that, you know, all that pomp and circumstance. And I mean, I looked at this set and I was drooling, but that's a pretty expensive set. However, I mean, with these being $13.99 each, you buy 7 of them. It's around the same price anyway. But yeah, there's so many different options, like I said. So, you know, I hope that you found this informative. If you've got other brands that you think I should try, then please let me know. I'm always up for trying new hooks and stuff, new crochet toys. But again, I want to stress that whatever you're using is fine. If you like the metal hooks, keep using them. Don't go running out and buying all these new hooks if you don't want to, or if you can't. Use what you have, but if you're looking for different options, then I hope that this video helped.